Untamed Unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed Unhinged in the night. Big Flex and Chris spreading the vibe. Eric and the mad scientist, David by my side. Untamed, unhinged, talking reptiles all day. Positivity's our topic in every single way. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Big Flex and Chris spreading the vibe. Eric and the mad scientist, David by my side. Untamed, unhinged, talking reptiles all day. Positivity's our topic in every single way. You want to talk with the community's voice, spreading love and knowledge, making noise by choice. Reptiles and exotics, we stand strong. Untamed, unhinged, singing our song. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Untamed and Unhinged Reptile Podcast. How can I help you? How can I help you? Oh my God, dude, I'm talking to my brother-in-law. Sorry.
Give him a big hug.
What's up, guys? Welcome, everybody. Today we have Ryan from Scales Reptile Exotic Expo. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right. I don't think there's anything going on with US Art. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
I don't know why my audio is really low.
Probably me, man.
I hear you though.
All right, I'm gonna bring out Ryan. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Ryan?
Welcome, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate being here. I'll just apologize right now if I'm a little sniffly. I'm been sick this all weekend, so getting over that.
What'd you have, COVID?
Probably. All my friends got it like 2 weeks ago and we're kind of healing, and then I skipped through it, and then pretty much on Friday I started going down, and then all weekend I was pretty sick. So
yeah,
most likely.
What's up, Janus?
I'm glad you're feeling a little better.
What's up, Dr. Joe, Kingdom Pythons, Emily, Danny, Aussie Serpents, James, Bay Area Ballers, what's up? What's up, guys? What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody in the chat?
All right, so Ryan, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Ryan Gradney, originally from California. I moved out to Florida in 2019 to kind of follow my dreams with working in the reptile field full time. Moved down here, started working with my buddy Kyle, and we started a YouTube channel, Permanent Predators. I'm super big into crocodiles and venomous snakes. Back in California in like 2012, I ran a reptile club back in California. We did an expo, so it was a big team thing. We did it for like 3 or 4 years when I was there. So that kind of led me into starting the Scales Reptile Expo. And then I also do importation, exportation of exotic wildlife.
Nice. And do you any herping? Do you herp?
I do, yeah. I haven't been that active since I moved. I used to come to Florida every 3 months and do like a week in the Glades. Since I moved here 4 years ago now, 5 years ago almost, I've probably been herping like 6 times. It's slowed down because the facility I work at, we've got 300 crocodiles and like 200 snakes, and most of which are venomous. So I just get a lot of my reptile time at work.
So how did you transition from working with reptiles to reptiles and then doing the expo or building an expo show?
So yeah, basically, like I said, I kind of helped out with and did the expo back in California. And then it's always been a thought of mine to start the expo business. And I thought it'd be fun and could kind of turn it into a business. So I did the importation thing first and got my feet wet with like owning a business and managing like different employees and like managing money and marketing. And then last year I decided to go on the expo train, and I hit up my buddy from California who has been doing expos probably, I think he's 12 years now. He does a few expos a year out there, and I flew him out last year and he helped me run the whole expo. And I had him kind of come in 3 months before and just kind of show me the ropes. So that kind of led into that. And honestly, I'm a quick study, so I just kind of put everything I could into it.
Okay, so
So
how
you had
does
some time
one
to
get?
learn before getting your uh, show feet wet. You know what I mean?
What was that? I didn't.
So you had like a few months to learn before you actually put on a show.
Yeah, so I was gonna do one the year prior, and then I just ended up getting busy with all the other stuff I was doing. So I did some work and then I put it off. And then last year, it was probably 8 months before or 9 months before that the show actually like went underway. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. So I just booked the venue, and I was like, let's just figure this out. So I paid all the money, booked the venue, and I was like, okay, now we got to figure out how to do this. So I called him up. He gave me some guidance, and then honestly, I pulled a lot of the connections I had made over the years, just being in the reptile industry as far as vendors go. So started kind of selling out vendor booths, and then figuring out the marketing. I brought in one of my friends who ran a clothing brand company and also does a few other companies he does all the marketing for. So I teamed up with some really good people, and then kind of put a team in place to help me kind of learn all of it and go through it and pull us all together. But it was definitely a lot. Last year, I can't tell you how many nights I woke up just stressed completely out, like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I almost canceled the show 3 times. Like
Oh my
4
goodness.
o'clock in the morning. Like I don't even care if I get my deposit back. I just don't want to show up there and have no one at my expo and like lose all my money. But my girlfriend at the time and then my friends kind of like talked me into like just go through with it. And I'm glad I did because it was a good turnout for the first year, which inspired this year's show. And then I would like to do a few more.
So it was a learning experience. So like,
It was a big learning experience. And last year, not many people know about it, but like I pretty much I risked it all on the expo. I took out a big personal loan and I just kind of like threw all my money at it. It was like either this is happening or I'm screwed. So there's a lot of stress on it, but I think that made it that much better. And like I said, the outcome was really good for a first time show. We had about 3,000 people show up. And it was a 45,000 or 35,000 square foot venue last year. This year's 50,000 square feet.
bigger.
Yeah, I went bigger.
Nice. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So how does one get involved? Like if they wanted to work in Expo or do anything like that. Not then, but like work there or work on your team.
Work on my team. Right now, it's pretty small. I guess if someone was local, they could hit me up. Right now, I just have basically friends and family. I have some family come downtown, and then friends help me out. Since the second one, as I grow this and do multiple expos a year, I do plan on growing out a more steady, solid team of employees.
Like get just hire from anywhere or just
Yeah, I guess if the right person reached out to me on like Instagram or something, or was local and I met them. But I typically like to hire people I know and like friends and stuff right now because I don't need 100 people. So if I only need 5, I have a pretty good group of people I could pull from. So I haven't had to reach out too far yet.
yeah. That's awesome. Okay. That's awesome. And then
And last year,
how do you
last
no
year I
go
did
go
fish
go
as
go ahead.
well. So it was a reptile and fish expo. I was trying to go for that. This year I scrapped the fish idea and just went full reptiles. That I do want to pick that up again in the future, but it's really hard to get fish vendors all coordinated between all like the water they got to bring in. And honestly, a lot of them didn't want to commit because it's so much work that if it's not a huge turnout, it's not worth it for them. So I figured after a few years of a track record, add the fish element back in.
I think that's a great idea.
So the fish is just a lot harder to work with.
Yeah, to get those vendors on board, just because there's so much more that goes into it. You can't just bring display cases or deli cups and throw them on a table.
Yeah.
The few fish vendors we had last year, it took them probably 3 or 4 times as long as like a reptile vendor to set up, maybe even longer, just because of all the filtration they had to put up.
Damn. And they had to do their saltwater fish and all that.
Yeah, last year we didn't have salt water, so that was only freshwater. So I can't even imagine how the salt water is to set up. But yeah, so in the future, probably we'll be adding either a fish expo or adding more fish to the reptile expo because we have space. That's why I got the bigger venue this year, was because I wanted to add 15,000 square feet of fish, and then ended up scrapping that. But luckily, we sold out the rest of it with reptiles, so now it's just a big reptile expo.
What's up, Sammy? What's up, everybody? Osa, everybody that just came in.
How many vendors did you find it like? I guess my question, like, how many vendors did it take for the show to be full, in your opinion? You know what I mean?
Last year was in the 70s.
Wow.
This year it's around 90, but some of the vendors got full islands, which were 14 tables. So we added space, but like some vendors just took up more space. So you don't really need like to sell 350 tables. You don't need 100, 200 vendors. You could do that with like less than 100 because they're getting multiple tables.
Gotcha.
So like with guest wise, like Tyler and them, are they vending or they're just like doing special guest appearances?
So Tyler, Chandler, Stone, Blake, Will, they're all going to be there. Blake from Blake's Dog Animal Ranch, he's vending. He's got his quail. Tyler's vending as well. He's going to sell, I think, hognose and like merch. Stone and Chandler are going to be probably at the same booth. Chandler will be doing meet and greets. He may be selling tours to his facility, and then Stone may be selling a few things here and there. And then Will's just going to be promoting his nonprofit.
So how's your expo different from other expos?
Yeah, so one thing that I really pride myself with my expo, I want to make it the full guest experience. So like the vendors I get and the way I set it up, you're going to get there and you're going to be wild. Last year we were very impressed with the way our vendors booth set up, but also I wanted to add in the influencer element where I don't know of any other expos you go to and you can meet reptile influencers, at least down here in Florida. You may see them here and there. I know Animal Con, you can meet the influencers, but it's not really a expo. So I just wanted to kind of merge my worlds between the influencer side, the venomous side, and the show side, to where when you come there, you're meeting your favorite people, you're seeing amazing animals. As this show develops, this is only my second one. As this show develops, I want to do more educational stuff. USARK's there as well, but I want to do like presentation shows and like more hands-on with the animals and stuff. But I think last year Chandler brought crocodiles, owls. You were able to come and interact with those. So it's a unique experience. My friend Steven from Extreme Exotics brought, I think it was servals, caracals, lynx. I think some monkeys were there as well. So there's a lot to see that necessarily aren't for sale, but you can come and interact and see them.
Yeah, that's definitely not like your typical reptile show where it's just like sales and tables.
Exactly. I try to make it fun for everyone. And I try to pick vendors to where they have different stuff. It's not just all ball pythons and leopard geckos, which are still a lot of people like them, but you like seeing something else when you go to a show too.
That's awesome. Do y'all have like a podcast team that go out there to podcast your expo, or?
I don't yet. No.
Like I know I think Herb Collectors just got Daytona. We got Reptilian Nation Expo.
Okay.
With Ryan and Chase. But I do that when they come to San Antonio.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, no, that's, like I said, it's because it's my second expo. It's definitely something I want to develop into. So I'm going to other shows and I'm trying to find different elements like that. The podcast elements is a cool one that I might implement. It's definitely with a show, an expo and a show this size, that there's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes. So I'm trying every year to like add a few things to just kind of progressively make the show better. So I'm definitely open to ideas like that.
That'd be hella dope.
The ideas you have are already really good because the influencers, them just coming in, they have a lot of fans. Exactly. And whether they're into reptiles or not, just the fan part, it brings a lot of people through the door.
Yeah. Last year, people loved it. There was lines for Chandler. Tyler wasn't there last year. He had a wedding, so he's going to be there, like I said, this year. So I think we're going to bring in a lot more people just wanting to hang out. And it's a pretty relaxed environment. So you're able to actually come up, talk to them. If you have questions, get your questions answered, and you're not like standing in line for 3 hours trying to meet these guys. And they're there just to hang out. They're pretty cool people.
That's dope. Like I don't know. I like everything you're talking about so far. Like I want to go now.
Yeah.
You're making me want to
go, bro.
I'm for sure gonna try to go.
Yeah.
And it's where in Florida, right?
Yeah, West Palm Beach.
Okay. And do you plan on taking your expo anywhere else besides Florida, or are you just trying to stay within Florida?
As of right now, probably I'm just focusing on Florida. I maybe once I do a good amount of shows down here, maybe, but I think there's a lot of room down here to grow to where I'm probably 5 years before I have to think about expanding out of the state. I'd assume. Who knows? Maybe next year I do 7 expos and I want to get out of the state, but we'll see where that goes.
Man, but I hear like it's hard to like go and find a spot to where people don't always go to, put an expo there. Like here in Texas, you got Dallas, and then you got Houston, and then San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
But if you go like in the outskirts to like, what is it, Amarillo, Texas, people don't go there a lot. But I hear there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, no, finding the venue is probably one of the hardest parts. It's finding a space that's big enough to put on a show that's worth putting on, because you could go find a church and put in 50 tables and have a few hundred people show up, but I wouldn't really say it's worth the time of doing it. And then finding like a space that hasn't already been found by another promoter, and then it's within a big enough city limit or city size to where you can get a good amount of people there. That is definitely the most difficult part. I'm looking at a ton of other venues right now, and I like the venue I'm currently at in the West Palm location, but trying to find another city, it's been challenging. So that's probably why growth is slower, just because you got to take time to find a good show. And I see someone we need a Miami show. I looked at a Miami location, and it was ungodly expensive. it was like 70 grand for like.
Sounds about right.
70 grand for an expo in Miami, goddamn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So like, what are the requirements to like do the expo? Like for the building, like what size does it have to be? Because I know it has to be more than, I think, 10,000 square feet, right?
Yeah. I personally liked the venue size last year. 35,000 square feet felt nice. 50,000. I've been to a show in that location, and it feels big. So I'm hoping to get you just need more bodies to fill the space. So I'm really hoping that our marketing this year fills that space. But 35,000 square feet, like I said, I really like that. 10,000 is way too small. 50 may be too big, but 35 felt good. So I would like to find locations between like 30 and 40,000. I think there's a sweet spot in there.
And then you price the tables based off
the venue, right? Yeah. Okay. So basically, like you could do the Miami venue, but you probably have to charge $400 or $500 a table, which is probably, I think, similar to what Daytona charges, because I'm sure that venue is expensive. So there'll be shows where like they book out like a church, and maybe the church only costs $2,000, so they can charge cheap for tables, or some, like I said, then you have like the Miami one where it's going to be like 150 just in venue cost. And depending on how many tables you get in there, the price could go way up to where it could be 500 or more a table. But yeah, there's really, you're not overcharging on table space or anything. That just kind of helps offset some of the cost of putting on the show.
People like me going to the shows appreciate the elbow room, the extra square footage.
Yeah. Yeah. The 35,000, there was a good amount of elbow room to where there's decent amount of people in there, and you're still pretty comfortable walking around. That's what I'm saying. Like 10,000, yeah, you're cramped in there for any like probably if you've ever been to like a show that's in like a basketball gym of like a school or something, or like a gymnasium or like a church, you're kind of just crowded, and there's not that many vendors either. So I like to stay away from that size.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I say go bigger. I mean, you already risked it all. You risked it what? What'd you say you put into this expo?
Last year like I said, I took out a loan for that. They're expensive. Yeah, it's. I won't tell you the exact numbers, but you're talking over 50 and then bigger ones are like over 80, 90 when you're all in.
I'm like, you went all in, risked it, not knowing what the outcome was going to be, and still came out on top. That's amazing.
Yeah, like I said, last year I was in debt going into the show. I was probably $20,000-$30,000 in debt walking into that. And Saturday morning before the attendees came in or before we opened, I'm sitting there like 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 even, and I'm just like, we have like 500 ticket sales. I'm like, I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, I just lost so much effing money. And then the gates open, and all of a sudden, just a line formed, and I was like, "Thank God!" And then it just kept flowing.
And then people just kept going in and out, right?
Yeah,
Money was coming in, money was going.
Yeah, and
Were
then
they buying like? Were they buying animals? Could you see, like, were
it
people
looked like they
leaving
were
with
buying
animals?
animals. Yeah. It's that part's hard to control. It's my job is just to get people through the door, and then up to the vendors to make the sales and get that, because everyone's coming there is interested in the animals, whether or not they have the money or they know exactly what they want. That's out of my control. But it seemed like people were buying. A lot of the vendors seemed really happy. I will say that, and I got a lot of real positive feedback from the vendors, and a lot of them from last year are coming back again this year. And in the day we closed the expo, they were saying that they'll come to like every show. They're like, we'll come every show. So I think that the response from the vendors is really good.
So I see you're having Clover reptiles. Alvaro? Yeah. I love Alvaro. He's a good guy. Good guy.
He's a great guy. He came last year. I met him, and I did his podcast before the last show through my friend Paul. And then I actually just saw him at Daytona.
Yeah, that's right. He did go to Daytona.
Yeah.
And he was on the podcast there too, but it wasn't. I thought he was going to be on Herps, but he wasn't. He was on another one. I think Reptile Talk or Modern Reptile or.
I saw Modern Reptile have the booth set up. I didn't see the first one you mentioned, and then I think Jeremy and Rob may have did theirs in their hotel room or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're talking about Reptile Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Jeremy and Rob, yeah, they didn't. I didn't see them on the podcast there, but I know they did their podcast there. Okay. But I know Herb's Collectors was there, and a lot of people missed.
Really? Yeah, Mike was on the first room.
The big room?
Yeah, I guess the room with the bleachers.
Okay, so a smaller room then.
Yeah, and then I believe Modern Reptile was on the other side, the bigger side.
Who was next to the plants? Were you there's the plant booth when we walked into the left, and then right to the right of the plants there was a podcast set up. I thought that was Modern.
In the bigger room or the smaller room?
The smaller one.
It might have been them, maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't actually see them.
Okay.
But I did see Mike's. Mike's looked clean. It was just everything was black, had his logo.
Okay.
All the mics were black, and I don't know, it just looked clean.
Oh, that's nice.
I liked it.
It's black and orange, like Halloween, but
yeah.
I like it. It's clean. It's his whole setup was very professional, which I'm trying to go. Like working with Mike actually put me on a whole nother level. So I'm actually trying to get the whole backdrop like his, all professional out and everything, because I like his setup. It's clean. So
I'll just check him out. I actually haven't seen his podcast yet.
Actually, I've actually started another podcast for his network channel. Okay. It's the Retic Rundown. We're actually talking about retics. Cool. Then, I mean, he has a lot of stuff going on, so it's gonna be good. It's, you should check it out. I'm about to. Super. Okay. They're not super, but they're dwarf retics.
Dwarfs. Okay.
Yeah, I got dwarf retics.
I wish we could own them down here.
I know. Eric was like, I want a retic so bad, but we can't own them in Florida, which sucks.
Yeah. They became prohibited the year I moved down here. So I brought my green anacondas from California, and I got the CSP license for them. And then they actually bred before they were shipped back down to me. So then when I got my permit, they came down. My female came down gravid or pregnant, and then they went prohibited. We got our prohibited license. We still have them for that. And she dropped 16 babies like the month after they prohibited them. I emailed FWC. I'm like, hey, I just got like 16 babies. What do you want? Like, what do you want me to do? They're like, okay, we'll just add them to your license. You can sell them just out of state. Like, okay, like, sounds good. So
that's cool.
At least they worked with you though. That's dope. At least they worked with you.
I've had really good luck with FWC. Like, it's as long as you're nice and you do things by the book, they've been good with me so far. Like, since I've been down here, I haven't had any issues.
And what is your take with US Art?
I like USARK. I've met Phil a few times, and then I've dealt with USARK Florida a few times. Elizabeth comes to my show, Family Reptiles, so they're a big supplier at our show, her and Scott. So yeah, I like them. I think that we need lobbyists for the reptile industry because the organizations going against us are paying tons of money to have lobbyists to kick us out. So if we don't have an organization, we don't have money being funneled to the political landscape, I think we're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't understand how much we need U.S. art.
Yeah. A lot of people just don't realize what I guess goes on politically, to where if you don't have a voice, you're literally, there's nothing you could do. So like we need groups that give us a voice, again, in the political landscape.
100%.
But
Man, I wonder, like, besides U.S. art being at expos, I want to try to like get U.S. art out there, and it's hard, man. It's hard.
yeah,
So that's why our show, we do fish, birds. Like, I'm reaching out to wildlife. Like, it don't matter. The more people I get involved, the more people that know about U.S. art.
no, absolutely.
And they'll either follow U.S. art or support U.S. art. You never know.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are. I don't know what the misconception is about USARK and why some people don't like them. I heard some rumors or some people saying that they thought they were stealing money or something. It was like a lot of like unfounded shit from what I heard. I'm like, I don't know how that got started. And unfortunately, in this industry, with just like the rest of life, people hear something or get a headline and then all of a sudden think that's the truth and just run with it.
Now, that being said, I'm going to ask you this question. Usually it's just my ending question, but you said this, so I want to ask you this now. If you could change one thing in the hobby industry, what would it be and why? And I'm going to run to the restroom quick.
If I could change one thing, I would change people being in this hobby for their ego, for posting online or doing whatever that they do. I feel like unfortunately, there's been a big push of people keeping reptiles for the wrong reasons, like rather than just doing it out of the love of the animals and purely just because they love it. I think because there's been so many more people getting into this, that they're kind of getting into it, whether it's for clout or for like status or just kind of like they want to. I don't know. I've even seen some side on the venomous side too, is people just get it because they want to piss people off. It's like, don't do that for like for the people that love reptiles and love this industry. It just hurts us. So I think I would change that. I would make it to where people that are in this industry are in it because they love the animals in the industry and not trying to put other people down.
Yeah, I agree. 100%, man. And like some people that get animals like that for the wrong reasons won't show the animals like on whatever social media, probably in the best light, you know?
Yeah.
Usually it's going to be them attacking something or eating something live, right?
Yeah. And they're always doing some dumb stuff with it. Like I said, I'm heavy in the venomous side. So I see that aspect and people just like free handling just to get a reaction, or like posting them biting something and killing it just to piss people off. And there's incident recently where someone got bit that did a lot of that kind of antics. And it's just like, why? Like, we don't need to be putting the animals in that light. And then if you do get bit, now it just makes us look even worse. So like, I don't know. That's what I would change. Unfortunately, this industry just attracts that. But hopefully through podcasts like your guys's and through different shows and avenues and the right people getting exposure, we can kind of shift that aspect, just because with COVID, it pushed a lot more people into this industry. And then I think more people are even more going to get into it. We just kind of have to really shape where it goes.
I agree.
I agree with everything you have said. I'm sorry, I heard everything you said. And I agree, totally agree. Like, I do feel like people do get in it for the wrong reasons. They get in it to make money fast. They think they're going to make money fast. Because in 2018, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah. That's glad you're still in it. I saw a lot of those people that got in during, I guess you were before the rush, but like the COVID rush, I've been seeing a lot of people completely lose their shirts, and it just kind of, if you're getting into this to make money, you're not going to make the money.
You're not going to see money till 5 years later.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever seen you. Maybe you've seen someone, but like someone that is only in it for the money actually make money, because it's usually people that love what they're doing just accidentally make the money because they're doing the right things because they love it. The people that are trying solely to make the money always cut corners or don't really like pay attention, and then they never make money, and they end up selling the animals dirt cheap or killing their animals. It just like it never works out.
I've seen that. Definitely seen that. So like me, I got into ball pythons, and then I started seeing the like ball pythons market was oversaturated. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I do have certain ball pythons that I want to keep and breed, like pieds. I love pieds, and I love calico, so I work with that.
That's awesome.
So that's what I breed. That's all I breed.
Okay.
Then I switched over. I started trading off ball pythons for rat snakes, colubrids. So now I do rat snakes. I have samboas. I have king rat snakes, hog noses, retics, boas.
A nice diverse collection.
So I was just like, I gotta be diverse, because if I stay with balls, I'm not gonna do anything.
No, there's too many people doing it. And even so, I used to breed ball pythons back in like 08. So I love ball pythons. It's just I got out of them to focus more on venomous and other sides. But I mean, yeah, as you see, it's super saturated in the ball python game. But yeah, I saw a lot of people coming in just seeing the dollar amount. It's like you can't do that.
Definitely can't. It's like what, 10,000? There was what, a ball python's 10 grand or 25 grand now. Like I can't remember the more, but they're up there, man. They're expensive.
Were 3,500 when I started. I bought a pair of head albinos in 2008 for it was $800 for the pair of hets, and then pies were super expensive back then. It was, and like I think the dreamsicle came out around that time. It was like $25,000. I remember those all came out.
I remember that, yeah. And pied back then, when I wanted to get a pie, they were like $1,500.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
And now they're like $5.
Yeah, or you can find them cheaper. I've been offered them for like $200-$300.
Yeah, or cheaper, depending on what it is, though.
Yeah.
Like if it's a pastel pie, yeah, $300-$200. So like I'm just like, it's just nuts. But like
I bought my first pastel for $500, brother.
Really? When was that?
2004 or 5.
Yeah. Was that a Graziani line, or do you remember that?
It was just a Nerd or Graziani, one or the other, whatever they told me. And it was, man, I got there Sunday like 3:00, and then my dad was like, "Oh, here's one," and I was like, "Oh, here you go, thanks, bye."
Yeah,
I'm just so happy to get a pastel, you know.
That if everyone that bred ball pythons back there, like if I kept in that, like you would have been like crazy now. Like the guys that got in and back then are the ones that are making the money now. Everyone's just jumping in now. It's like it's
the ones who stick with it, right?
Yeah, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, so like everybody's like, you're the master of marketing, because I branded myself out before I even sold a snake.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. Like this whole thing is like it's a marketing game. It's brand awareness, because two people can have the exact same snake, same quality, same morph, same whatever, but you're going to go and buy something from someone you trust, because these animals carry diseases or can carry diseases, could be unhealthy. Like the trust aspect in the reptile industry, I think is probably the biggest part of someone trusting you and your brand to buy from you.
And that's why I said, it's like, because when you're at an expo, do you ever just sit back and watch the kids? Like, what do they go to the tables for? Like, ooh, a shiny sticker. Because I only do holographics. And everybody's like, why do you only do holographic stickers? I said, because it catches the kid's eye, pulls them to the table, then their parents come over to the table, and they start asking you questions.
Yeah, you got to build that connection. You got to have something to hold them over, and then you got to be a smiling face there, not the grumpy guy sitting behind the table looking at his phone. Be like, I don't get why no one's buying. It's like you got to actually like smile and be like, hey, welcome to the reptile industry. Like, this is what this is all about. Check out the snakes. You like it. This is how you take care of it. Okay, look, are you getting your first one? I would go with this one rather than this one, rather than just trying to push something down a customer's throat.
Exactly. Exactly. And then it's funny because we're live, and I have another co-host. We call him the mad scientist. He's a
Okay.
scientist. His name's David, and Eric's watching in the comments, and he's like, "Dude, all those people coming over to the table, and they're just picking up stickers. That's all we have. I
Yeah.
had stickers because the keychains didn't come in time. I just got them, by the way.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then our shirts, like I didn't have any shirts, so like all I had was stickers. And then we talked about the podcast. We informed them. They had questions to ask us. One person even showed us a leech
People
at
keep
Expo.
leeches out there?
Yeah,
Yeah, that thing was huge. It was
Really?
full,
bro, it freaked me out because I was like, "Who wants a pet leech? Like, what do you do?"
and it was in water too.
Really?
I didn't
Yeah,
know they just keep them in water. They live in water.
I've seen some
Aquatic?
people on Instagram with them, and they get like those giant leeches, and like you just let them like suck your like.
I
Wow.
think that's what it was. It was massive. It was like 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but whatever. People don't understand what we keep, so to each your own, I guess.
Exactly.
I mean, you do got a point, but it's still my brain's like, is it pleasure?
You know, every time I
You
see
know what I'm
some weird
saying?
stuff, I'm like, is this what people think about when we like reptiles?
Right? You're
Like,
right. You're right.
every time, like, that's why I'm like, okay, whatever you want to keep, I support it, but just I won't keep it, but I'm not going to dog you on it. But it's definitely an interesting choice because but weird. But I've been seeing a lot more. I've been seeing those gain popularity, at least on Instagram.
What, elitists? Yeah, I've seen like like 6 of them attached to somebody's arm on Instagram, and they
Yeah,
were
the only
just like sucking away.
Yeah, no, it's creepy. I just got reminded that the only time I've actually seen a leech like in person, I had a few leeches on me in Africa. I was crossing a river and I just looked down. I had some like so I don't. That's the only time I've seen them, but they're like this freaking big. They're not the giant ones. I can't even imagine walking through a swamp and picking them off you.
So you had to pick them off you, or you burned them off you? Because I heard you could do that.
Mine didn't bite. Like I was sitting in the water and I'd see them like swimming, like crawling on my legs and stuff. And I was
snap!
yeah.
I'd be freaking out. Like, what the
That's
hell
like
is
that
this?
show Monsters Inside Me.
Yeah. I was not happy.
I don't know if we asked this, but how do you go about picking vendors? Like, what are red flags you look for when you select a vendor to do your show?
Yeah,
Or
so for my show, all
not
the
to do your
vendors,
show.
they've got to submit an online form on the website, and then part of that form is a link to their website or to they'll also ask for like show pictures, so that way I can see what their tables look like. So I do a little bit of research on the vendors themselves when they come in, and obviously I don't want to like purposely exclude anyone if they're doing a good job and like doing it the right way. But if I see like they put a table picture up and it just looks like, I mean, you've been to shows, you know what a trashy table looks like. If I see that, I won't add them. I try to, like I said, I knew a lot of the vendors going into it last year, so I was able to kind of cherry pick. And then I went to Daytona. I've been to other shows, and when I see a good booth, I go up and be like, hey, I'm doing the Scales Expo, West Palm Beach. Here's my card. I'd love to have you there. And I kind of cherry pick vendors to where I can make it the most visually appealing show for the public. Obviously, can't be 100%, and this is only my second show. So if for some reason someone slips through the cracks, I just like last year, I didn't invite some back if I didn't like them. Like if the table wasn't up to par, because I think part of, and I'd also told them like, hey, this is what you can do better for next year. So I think part of putting on a show is, like I said, making the best display and best appearance for the public. So it's kind of like self-policing. It's like, hey, this is the direction we want to go. If you don't fit it, we're going to cut you out and put someone in that does. That way, the final product in maybe 5 or 6 years is a show full of all beautiful booths, to where you walk in and even the people in the back or the corner, everywhere you look, it's a nice setup.
Yeah, you kind of tell who's trying to make their booth stand out, right? And those are the ones that you kind of look for.
Exactly.
So do you do like best vendor of your expo? Like, do you do awards and stuff like that? Because I've seen some expos do that.
I haven't done it yet. That's a good idea, though. Yeah, I like that idea.
Best booth vendor, or what was it? There was one I saw on Instagram. It said best breeder booth of the year award. because his booth was amazing, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess you could even do it to where you hand out, or could do like maybe I hand everyone like a ticket or something when they walk in and have like jars on every booth, and the attendee, like people walking through, could just drop a ticket in their favorite booth, or like maybe have it to where it's like a voting system to where it's not like the staff selection. It's more of like,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be a cool idea.
That's actually a good idea. I like that one better than mine.
Yeah, I would hate to hurt people's feelings. So I was like, I don't want to pick it. Let's let other people pick it for them.
I'm just like, because I know some expos do that. I don't think NARBC does it. I don't know if Daytona did. I don't know where they did it at.
I know do it. So that'd be. I'm sure they are, but yeah, that'd be a cool idea, because then it creates an element of competition between the vendors on booth display as well. So that way, when they come back the next year, if they win like a prize, like maybe I can think of something that they get, and then every year they're trying to up their booths to win the prize. That'd be kind of cool.
And then you make them a little trophy, and they put it right there, like best booth last year.
Yeah,
you know, and they keep going. And then not only they keep coming back, you still keep their business, like and other people will try to compete for the next best booth.
That's a good idea. So, Julie, if you're watching this, add that to the list. I know she's watching. So, yeah.
I was just like, I don't know. I thought of that in my head because I saw that a while back. They were like best breeder booth award of the year. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I didn't know Expos did that, so that's why I was asking.
I didn't know either. I would love to implement that though, because anything I could do to make it fun. And like I said, this is the second one. I do want to do this for the long term, and I do want to grow this. So I want to make this to where if you see a Scales Expo, you know it's going to be a quality expo, and it's going to be a fun expo, and it's one that you like have to go to. So
I'm gonna let you go ahead and plug yourself right now, where people can find you, your expo, the page, and then we're gonna drop the sponsor reel.
Cool.
And then we'll come back.
So scalesexpo.com is where you can go and find tickets and all the details about the expo. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Scales Expo. Real easy.
Thanks. And now I'm gonna drop the sponsor. Dude, I actually gotta go back and re-edit that because I forgot there's a sponsor in there that I don't even have no more.
Can't be giving out like advertisements.
Right? Yeah. So I was like, damn. All right, I gotta go back and fix that later. But yeah.
What about a best in show?
What?
Like an animal?
Yeah. Like, you know how, like, I guess like in a fish show they might have like best. I know for dogs they must have that, right?
Yeah, I've seen Australian reptile expos. They do a best in show where they set up like a row of cages, and the public, or like you sign up for it, and you bring your animal there, and you put it on display for the weekend, and then it's divided into like different categories. I think it's probably by species, and then people vote on the best one of that species. It's real popular in Australia because they don't have quite as many like different things as we do here in the States, so that they added that. But wouldn't be a bad idea. It's just kind of hard bringing in outside animals that aren't for sale. So I'd kind of go to Australia in November, so maybe I'll check out a show out there and kind of get some ideas while I'm there.
So do you have like importers and exporters at your shows? Like they bring them in and sell there too, or?
Underground Reptiles comes there. They import and export. And then I import and export. So I put some of my animals on a friend's table. And then there may be a couple others. I think New Moon Reptiles imports. And I'm probably missing a couple others that I don't know offhand that do importation. But yeah, that some will be there. So I would say it's probably 90% captive born and bred animals, and then maybe 10% wild caught, the imports that are obviously healthy. If I walk around the expo probably like last year, probably 50 times a day. So if I see something on the table that doesn't look healthy, I'll tell them to pull it. So because it just looks bad. You don't want to see dead animals or sick animals on a table. But last year I didn't have any issues. Everything looked great.
And how do you get into importing or exporting animals?
I got into it because I wasn't finding the reptiles I wanted, the venomous snakes that I was specifically going for. When I moved, I came down with a list. I was like, I can't find these, but I was able to find them overseas. And then I linked up with a importer that was down here, and I was like, hey, let me throw something on the shipment. How about I find you animals so you can make money, and then you teach me how to do it. So I was going out and I was finding a few $1,000s of profit for this guy, and I was like, here you go. Here's your animals. I'm not charging you anything. Take your animal. Just show me how to do it. And then that's how I got into it. And then I have my U.S. Fish and Wildlife license. I have so many licenses for different things, but that's one of them to where I'm able to import and export. And then you got.
How much was that?
It's cheap. It's $100 for a U.S. Fish and Wildlife import export license.
Oh, for y'all, right? Because here's like $60, I think it was.
I think it's U.S., so it should be 100, but maybe I don't know if something is different in Texas.
I don't know. I'll send you what I got, and you tell me if that's right or wrong.
Is it a U.S. license or is it a Texas license?
I think it's a U.S.
Okay, yeah, because mine.
Well, when I go back and look, I'll look. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I'm in Texas, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, send me. I'll check. But honestly, the hardest part that the import game, it's having people that are trustworthy overseas that aren't gonna take your money or send you dead animals or pack improperly. Because as an importer, you are on the hook for how they send your animal. So if stuff arrives here and it'll
be out of the box,
it could be. Yeah, all around the box, you're getting slapped with fines. They'll confiscate your.
Oh my god!
If you send money to overseas and they just take your money, good luck tracking them down. If they send you dead animals, there's no refund policy. Like that's a freaking risky one as well. But luckily, I have some good connections overseas to where I haven't been burnt like that. But I do know of other importers. The one that taught me, he just got burnt of tens of thousands of dollars from an overseas guy that was in Europe. And then I know my European friends, they sent probably $20,000 to Africa. Those guys just took their money and left, and they just lost all their money. So it's definitely risky.
Damn. Yeah, well, I mean, when they get that much money, you're like, bye. I mean, they're set out there, right? Because they could live out there forever.
For a while, yeah. And I just did an import from Indonesia, and I just sent over. It was a smaller orders, but it was like 40 grand. And yeah, the whole time you're like, please don't take my money and run. Please send me the animals. And then when they send the animals, you're like, please send the right ones. And then they get here, and you're like, you didn't send this one. They're like, I'll give you a refund. Be like, okay, I'm still waiting on that refund. We'll see if that comes in.
Damn.
Very risky.
Yeah.
I have a lot of faith too.
Yeah. It's a big gamble.
Yeah. He has a lot of faith.
He hopes for the best.
I'm like, he has a lot of faith in these guys.
Dude, I've done business. Like I try to do like little imports. Like this guy I just got from Indonesia. I bought from him a few years ago. And I know people that have, so I'm like, okay, is he trustworthy? And then you kind of just go for it. And then I like Europe better because I trust these people a lot better. I've got a really good relationship with my guy in Germany. He was actually just out here, stayed at my house. Like when I go to Germany, I'm gonna go stay with him. So that's a real good relationship to where I know he's not gonna burn me. I'm not gonna burn him. But it took I've known him online for probably 8 years now. So it takes a long time to develop those relationships.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to build, definitely. But that's dope, though. You got him to come to your house.
Yeah, he's chill. He's my age too. Yeah, we're the same age. So him and his wife came over. They were visiting Florida. I took him to Chandler's. Then I took him around. He came to our facility, showed him around town, went to dinner, stayed here, and then it was a great time. And then when I do my Africa shipments, I'm good friends with him too.
That's funny.
I agree 1,000% with Bosa. I ordered crickets one time, and they all arrived dead. I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
Well, who'd you order from?
Crickets.
Yeah, there were a few $1,000s that showed up dead this last one, so we'll see how that works out. It's not fun, but you get.
So do you have Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
devastating.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was saying that like there's negatives to it. Like you can lose a lot of money, obviously, but then also you get really cool stuff. And I get to hand pick what I keep. I select some, like I've got some cool animals now from Indo that are in quarantine. And then when I import my venomous from Europe, I have stuff that no one else has because I put the money out and develop the relationship and then risk it and import it. So, but then yeah, some stuff shows up dead and you're like, shit.
But at the
I'm
same
gonna
time,
hit
you
you
get
up.
first pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him up after this show. Like, hold up, Ryan.
Hey,
I'm gonna talk to you after all this.
I've got green tree pythons available. I've got tree monitors and I've got bone pythons if anyone wants any.
Oh boy.
Eric was like, I heard bowling's pythons. He's like,
Yeah.
yes.
Got a pair of 9-month-old Bolins.
Bolins? No. I can't afford that.
Wait, how much are they going for, Ryan?
I'm gonna list them for 20,000 for the pair. Yeah, they I've seen them online right now for 10 to 12 a piece. I think Nerd's the only one selling them. I saw one at Daytona for 15,000 for a single animal. So I think 20 for a pair would be fair. And they're like I said, yearling established animals. If they weren't in quarantine, I'll pull one out right now and show you guys. But they're beautiful. I'm debating keeping them, but I'll sell them.
How about? Oh, they're like, is it a enclosed enclosure or like?
They're in
Is
my
it blacked
storage
out?
room. So they're in a rack in there, and the door shut. And I have all the different stuff. I had to treat them.
Okay.
They all came in with freaking mites, so you got to treat that. I'm pretty much almost done treating them, but I have other snakes in my house that if I just grabbed them, I wouldn't want to. I have some green trees in my other room that are designers. I just don't want to deal with mites.
I see. I got you. I understand that completely.
But yeah, the importation. Last year I did an import. It was a huge import, and I brought in like 50 Bushmasters, Mengshan, Vipers. I brought in 300 venomous snakes. So like unpacking all that, it was a good time.
Why they were out in the box?
No, they're closed, but just having to unpack 300 venomous snakes, and it was some of the rarest
box of fire.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, man, he had that Mangxing Viper, dude. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, right now we've got 6 of them, 6 Mengshans. I just brought in 12 on the last shipment. I sold them, and then I have my personal ones. But some cool venomous.
Michael says you're the homie, him and Kyle at Primitive Predators.
Yeah, for our social media.
How many chondros do you have, Ryan?
Counting the imports right now, I got 28. But the ones that aren't imports, my personal collection, I have 3. I've got 2 designers, and then I've got I guess one's technically not a designer. It's from the guy House of Blues, so it's like a really nice high-end locality. And then I got a Biak female I'm raising up. And then I'm going to keep probably some of these imports. I got some really nice Maruks that are like the full stripe, and then some nice Arfok locality ones.
Nice. Super nice.
Yeah. No,
House of Blue stuff is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Mike,
I hit him up because I was like, I need to get.
Yeah, dude, I know. That's what he was saying.
Yeah. We've got the Leucistic King Cobra. She's about 9 foot long now, so hopefully in the next 2 years we'll breed her. The only one in the U.S. We've got a het male. We've got like six hets, and then the albino gaboons and everything, and we've got spider tail vipers. So a lot of cool
stuff. We're definitely talking after this.
I try to get cool stuff, man.
He said, "What happened to the hypo?"
More
lots.
Everything's being grown up. We'll see how the next few years does. And then same as our piebald now crocodiles. Hopefully those will produce next season.
But you got piebald crocodiles?
Yeah, Kyle does at our facility. Piebald Niles. We imported those from South Africa like 3 years ago.
Dude, man, y'all gonna crush everything, man.
Yeah, we've got some cool animals, man. It's been a nice nice ride to get here. We've definitely built up a cool collection between me and Kyle.
I want a albino caiman. That's what I want.
There's not many albino caiman out there. There's
All
some,
white little.
There's some in South America. As far as the U.S., I don't know of any albinos yet. But there's albino gators. Those are pretty common. Well, they're expensive, but they're common. You're looking at like 15, 20 grand.
You also have a leucistic king cobra, right?
Yeah, blue-eyed leucistic king cobra at our facility. It's crazy looking. About 9 foot long. That thing came in 2 years ago now as a little worm. It was probably 2 feet long, about as thick as a number 2 pencil, and I think I was sweating bullets for 9 months. Just like I thought that I was gonna die every day. I was like, and it's a really expensive snake. So like every freaking day I'm looking at it, I'm like, just don't die, just don't die. And a lot of king cobras at like until it's at like 4 to 6 foot long, it's like 50-50 that thing's gonna make it.
How? Why?
They're super fragile. Like I don't know of very many people that have raised kings from hatchlings, and especially imports. And then you add a pure white snake that was kind of probably stressed the hell out in Indo because they try to kill them. It creates a real headache on that. But she's doing great. She's, like I said, she's about 9 foot long now. And with any luck, in the next 2 years, we'll have her breeding. And then,
but I want to make a shout out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan. I want to make a shout out real quick because Elias is here watching. Elias, I got the bag, bro. Shed yourself.
That's cool.
Got it. I got it, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's fire, dude. I got my little key tag.
Hold on. I'll put you on. Let me see it. Show it again.
Yeah, look.
Dang, that is nice.
Go get that from Elias. Shed yourself. If you're a gym guy like me, a gym buff, yeah.
That's
And
a
I
perfect bag.
also got Epic Reptiles on today too, which we have live tomorrow. We got Epic Reptiles. Makes his own merch. Got a little tag back here on the backside too.
That's a cool logo.
Yeah.
I like that.
Dude,
Sick.
do y'all have merch for your expo, right? Like expo shirts?
We will this year. Yeah, last year we didn't, but this year we will.
Hey, Eric, get me one. If you go to a show, get me one.
Yeah, I'm for sure going to try to. When's the exact date, Ryan?
It's October 19th and 20th. So
1920?
Third weekend in October. It's the weekend after Tinley.
Oh, Tinley, you're going to Tinley too?
I won't be at Tinley. I got too much to do for my show, unfortunately. I'll be at Animal Con, but then I won't be able to go to Tinley.
All right, I'm gonna ask Eric's question. Or you want to ask it? Go ahead.
Well, I got two questions. One is my normal question, but I want to ask Ryan one more question. Like, if you're a vendor and you're only doing ball pythons, are you kind of like putting them on a list, or do they automatically get in, or how do you go about doing just the ball python vendors?
They definitely don't automatically get in. So because ball pythons are so popular for vendors, I try to kind of limit it to where it's not going to be all. Like I would say like the ones that have the best booths are the ones that are getting in first, and then I'm trying to get some other vendors in there just to kind of add the variety of the show. And then obviously if we sold out this year already, but like if we hadn't, then we would have added more ball python vendors. But basically for ball python vendors, I'm going off their booth mainly just because there's going to be so many of them and so many of them applying that you can kind of pick not necessarily the best, but the best booths. And then on the layout side of things, we do our best not to put like all the same type of vendors next to each other. So we do our best to spread everyone out where you're walking around. It's not just a row of ball pythons. You can kind of like, it'll be ball pythons, crested geckos, monitors, hognose. Like we want to make it diverse for the attendees too.
Smart. Yeah, you have to have that presentation. You have to stand out.
Exactly.
All right. And then my second question, give me a problem or a situation. It can be with the reptiles. It could be with the show. Something that you ran into, like a problem that you weren't foreseeing that you had to like overcome.
Well, last year our marketing got shut off. We only had 7 days or 6 days of actual marketing because our Facebook ads wouldn't work. So like I was trying to dump the budget, obviously 2 weeks before the show to get the most attention. And as soon as we start, Facebook shut off our marketing, flagged it as scam. We're like, what the hell? And then it took like 5 days to get that resolved. And then we went back, and then they wouldn't give us the full budget we wanted immediately. They like throttled us back to like $50 a day when I wanted to spend about 500. So I was operating at like 1/10. So we had to like really overcome that and do more like road signs and like guerrilla marketing on that to kind of like offset it. But that was something I was not expecting. Where this year it's gonna be dialed, and I'm tripling our marketing budget. So I'm trying to grow off that mistake. But yeah, last year was a tough one when it came to marketing because of the issues that Facebook threw at us.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely one I would foresee. Like, if you're trying to advertise yourself, and then the person or the platform you're using is definitely giving you problems.
Yeah, they just cut us off to where it was like the first 5 days of that 2-week campaign, there was no marketing. It was just our like organic stuff. There was no paid marketing.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, and then
but at least you got it fixed.
Yeah. So this year I don't foresee that issue because we're already marketing now, and it seems like we're good. So knock on wood, we'll be able to just have a smooth marketing transition.
Dude, I pray everything runs smooth for you, bro. I wish everything runs good for you. So I have 2 questions. What do you think of the podcast so far?
I like it. Yeah, no, you guys really chill, man. I appreciate you guys being here, and like I said, you asked great questions. I like the podcast.
Oh, we appreciate that very much. I really appreciate that because, like, from where we started this podcast, from where I came from to where we got now, it's been a change. It's been awesome, right? Okay. We can only go up from here. So appreciate that.
Awesome.
And my next question is, if you can go back to the beginning and know what you know now, is there anything you would change, like dealing with the Expos, dealing with the
last year? Knowing what I know now, I would definitely take some stress off my plate. Because last year, like I said, I was very stressed just because we didn't sell out until 2 weeks before the show. I think a month or 2 weeks. Like, it was very close for vendors. So I didn't even know if we were going to have a full show. If attendees were going to come there and there's be half a show empty, and then I didn't know if attendees were going to show up. So like I would definitely take some of that off because I would have been able to kind of maybe focus more on other things instead of kind of like freak out. But then I also would have, I would have started marketing earlier just to kind of work out those kinks. Now knowing that there was going to be an issue.
So that's why you started marketing. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's why we see it now. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, because I don't want to run into that issue again.
And that's where I came up. I saw it come up. I was like, man, I'm gonna ask them. You know, if they would like to come on the podcast, and I did. And you were like, yeah, you were actually really chill. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was it a sponsored ad or was it just one of the vendor?
No, I think it was a sponsored ad. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it was a sponsored ad. Yeah. So that's how I saw you, and then I went to your page because I know I had to go to your page to actually ask you.
Yeah.
So I looked up, I typed in your Expo page, and that's when I sent you like, hey, would you like to come on the podcast? My name's Chris, aka Big Flexin'.
So
I
like meeting new people in the reptile industry, and I haven't met you guys yet, so that I appreciate you guys reaching out and being able to do this and chat for an hour and get to know you guys too.
And after this, like after the Expo, if you want to come back on and talk about how the Expo went, like let us know. We'll do that too. We'll set that up. I would love to see how your Expo went, how everything went for you. You know? Absolutely. But I don't know. You got anything else, Eric?
Yeah, if you're in Florida, definitely go check out the Scales Expo because I missed the first one. I'm definitely not gonna miss the second one.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's gonna be a fun time, guys. Meet some of your favorite creators, hang out with them, see some amazing animals. There's not just reptiles there, though. I have friends that are gonna have owls, crocodiles, maybe some monkeys floating around at the vendor booths. So there'll be some different stuff to see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
not
on
like your
that-
typical reptile show, right?
Correct.
You don't see that.
All right. And a positive message before we get on out of here, right?
Well, be kind to yourself and be kind to others in this community.
That's good. I like that.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, guys. You already know what time it is. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Ryan, for coming on the podcast, for saying this. Take your time out your day. Appreciate you being here. And I look forward for more podcasts with you later down the line if you're interested.
Yeah, definitely. And again, thank you guys so much for reaching out and having me on here. It was an honor, and I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
On that note, guys, you already know. Y'all lift each other up, check on your loved ones, never put each other down. Stay positive, guys. Stay motivated. And never give up. We out of here. Love you guys. Have a great night.